Hi everybody, my name is Kiah and I'm an intern here at the WRC, and today I'm going to be running us through a basic yoga exercise program. So just a little bit about yoga is it's going to help us maintain stability, flexibility, as well as working our core. All of the poses that I'm going to have us do today are really going to work our arms, our legs, as well as you're going to feel really deep stretches in your back as well. So for the basic yoga that I'm going to run us through today, we're going to be using victorious breath, which is going to be a count of 4 breaths with 5 seconds inhalation and 3 seconds exhalation. So we're going to work on that right now in the seated position. So I'm going to have everybody sit down on their mat. And you want to make sure that your right leg is under your left knee and your left foot is under your right knee. Okay, so now that we're in the seated position, this is where you want to set your intentions for the yoga session today. Whether that's relieving stress, relieving any anxiety that you had at work, or if we're just doing this to stretch before a workout, anything like that, we want to set those intentions right now while we're in this pose. And we're also going to start working on that victorious breath that we're going to use through this whole exercise. So first, that's going to be an inhalation of 5. So we're going to go. And then exhale for 3. Right, one more time. Inhale for 5. And exhale for 3. And another time. Inhale for 5. And exhale for 3. All right, and last time. Inhale for 5. And exhale for 3. All right, so while we're seated here, I'm going to introduce my fellow interns behind me. This is Jordan. And this is Ciara, and they're going to be helping me today. So the first pose that I'm going to have us do to start warming up is the head to knee pose. So we're going to go ahead and put that left leg out and keep that right foot very square onto your mat. We're going to reach as far as possible, continuing to do that inhale of 5 and exhale of 3. So if you can't reach your foot, that's okay. A good modification if you can't do that is to just reach as far as possible. You want to feel a little bit of you want to feel a deep stretch, but you don't want it to be uncomfortable because this yoga is all about being comfortable. So we're going to continue to keep breathing. Make sure we're feeling that deep stretch. You should feel it right underneath your knee. Right, and go ahead and relax. And we're going to go one more time on this leg. Make sure we're inhaling for 5 and exhaling for 3. Perfect. All right, and we're going to go ahead and switch legs over to the right side. Go ahead and reach as far as possible. Right, and go ahead and relax. And one more time. Perfect. All right, and now we're going to bring both of our feet towards the front of the mat. I'm a little cattywampus, but that's just to show you guys what poses we're doing. So we're going to go ahead and try and reach all the way down to our toes. If you can't, that's okay. Just reach as far as you can. And if this one's a little easy for you, you can always try and reach towards the furthest part of your feet. I can't do that, but if you're a little more expertise than me, you'll be able to. Right, and go ahead and relax. And one more time. All right, and now into the next pose that we're going to be doing today is going to be the cobra pose. So how we're going to get into that one is you want your knees on the floor, just like this, and you want to put your feet, oh, sorry, not your feet, your hands. You want to put your hands out towards the front of your mat, and you want to put your hips all the way down towards the mat, lifting through with your sternum, and you want to look up towards the sky. And make sure we're continuing to do those inhalation of 5 and exhalations of 3. Looking up to the sky is going to give you that really deep stretch that you're looking for in this pose. Perfect. And the way we're going to relax into this pose is we're going to relax back into child's pose. So you want to go ahead and reach with your arms and pull yourself back to where your stomach is touching your knees. And you want to go ahead, to make this pose a little more relaxing, putting your forehead towards the mat just like Jordan is doing is going to make this pose a lot more stress relieving for you. Right, and right back up into Cobra. Make sure we're inhaling as we look up towards the sky. Right, and back into child's pose. Perfect. All right, now that we're all warmed up, I'm gonna have everybody stand up on their mat, and we're gonna start doing some of the standing poses that I have ready for us today. So the first one that I'm gonna have us do is the half forward bend. So the way we're gonna do that one, I'm gonna stand this way so you guys can see my back. The way you wanna do that half forward bend is you wanna reach all the way down towards your toes, and you wanna make sure that your back is as straight as possible. I know it's a little difficult to see your back, but if you're in a mirror, that's the perfect place you wanna be to be doing this pose. Want to reach all the way down towards your toes. If you can touch your toes, that's perfect. If not, just as far as you can go. I like holding on to the back of my ankles. Makes me feel a little more stable that way. Perfect. All right, and go ahead and relax by standing right back up. Go ahead and roll out those shoulders a little bit. Make sure you're feeling nice and comfortable. Right, and then we'll go right back down one more time. Make sure we're inhaling all the way down with that breath of 5 and exhaling when we're ready for 3. All right, perfect. So the next pose that I'm going to have us do is the mountain pose. This pose is great for also working on that victorious breath that we've been working with so far. So you want to go ahead and put your feet kind of shoulder width apart. Make sure that you're nice and aligned with your body. You should feel like, this should just feel like your normal standing pose. And you want to go ahead and put those arms right out. And for me personally, I like to close my eyes during this one. It makes me focus more on that breathing that we're doing. So if you want to, go ahead and give that a try. We're gonna inhale for 5 and exhale for 3. And one more time, inhale for 5 and exhale for 3. Okay, so this next pose that I'm gonna have you guys do is gonna be the warrior 1. So for warrior 1, we're gonna put that left leg right out in front towards the front of our mat. We're gonna put that right leg back. And you're gonna wanna make sure this right leg is at a 45-degree angle, just like both of my associates are doing right now. And for this pose, we're gonna wanna reach in with our front leg. And while we're inhaling, we're gonna wanna pull those arms up right towards the sky. Right, and we can go ahead and relax by bringing those arms right down. I like to also lean back on this leg. That gives me a little bit more stability while I'm trying to relax in this pose. All right, and then we're gonna go back one more time. We're gonna reach on that left knee, inhale, and reach our arms up towards the sky. Perfect. All right, and the next pose that I'm gonna have us do is gonna go right into warrior 2. In order to do that, you wanna put your hips facing forward. So it should look kind of like this. And you're gonna wanna reach your arms out this way while we're breathing with that inhale of 5 and that exhale of 3. You're gonna feel a really nice deep stretch right here, as well as in that leg as well. And if it's a little too easy for you, you can go ahead and reach on that front leg. That's gonna give you an even deeper stretch in that leg. Perfect. All right, and we can relax. and one more time. Wonderful. All right, and now we're gonna switch legs. I'm gonna face this way so that you can see me doing it on the right side. So we're gonna put that right leg in front now, and then we're gonna have that left leg in the back, making sure that's still at a 45-degree angle. And then we're gonna go ahead and inhale, make sure we're reaching on that forward leg and reaching our hands up towards the sky. And we can go ahead and relax, making sure that we're putting some more stability on that back leg while we're relaxing. Another great way to know if you're doing this pose right is you should also feel a nice stretch in your calf while you're reaching forward this way. It shouldn't be too heavy, but you definitely will feel it in there as well. Right, and then we'll go ahead and back one more time, inhaling for that 5, making sure that we're reaching up towards the sky. Perfect. And then we're going to go right into Warrior 2, just like last time. That's going to be those hips facing forward while we reach those arms out and bend on that forward knee again. We can go ahead and relax. All right, so then we're going to go ahead and do the 5-pointed star. That one we're going to keep our feet out as far as possible, and we're going to reach just like we did in Warrior 1 and 2. And go ahead and continue that breathing. It's going to be an inhale of 5 and an exhale of 3. Perfect. All right, and then we can go ahead and relax. Go ahead and shake out those shoulders, shake out those legs, shake out those hands, anything that's kind of feeling a little tense right now. Great, and then we can go ahead and put those feet out just as far as you can. Just make sure it's still not uncomfortable for you, and reach those arms out one more time. That inhale of 5 and that exhale of 3. Perfect. All right, and now we're going to go into downward facing dog. So the way I like to get into this pose is you're going to go ahead and put those legs, your knees on the ground. You want to put your palms up towards the front of your mat. And I like to use my toes to push myself up off the mat right into downward facing dog. So the focus in this pose is going to be making sure you feel that really deep stretch in the back of your legs. This one you're also strengthening your arms by using your arms to kind of prop yourself up. I like to try and focus on getting my heels as deep into the mat as possible. If you can't, that's okay. That's how you're going to feel the really deep stretch in this pose. Perfect. And then we're going to relax by going back into that child's pose that we did last time. You want to reach your arms out as far as possible. And go ahead and drive yourself right back into the mat. Right, and then we'll go right back into downward facing dog, making sure we're using those toes to prop ourselves up, and then planting our heels as far as we can onto the mat. Right, and we can go back down into child's pose, making sure we're feeling that really deep stretch in our lower back. Alrighty, now that we've finished those poses, we're going to go right into our resting poses. So the first resting pose that I'm going to have us do today is the supine twist. That's going to really focus on stretching that lower back out that we've been working on, as well as really focus on that breathing and making sure we work those back muscles. All right. So first we're going to lay on our back. We're going to take this leg, roll it down this way. You want to use your right arm to guide that all the way down, putting our left arm over towards that left side and looking over to the left. And if you feel a couple pops in your back, that's okay. That's just making sure you feel that really deep stretch. All right, and we can go ahead and come back up. And next we're going to do that right leg. So we're going to take that right leg, place it over towards the left side of our body, and we're going to go ahead and lay back down, guide that leg all the way down. Take your time if it's a little bit painful. And you're going to take that right arm, place it over to your right side. You're going to make sure you're looking in the opposite direction of your leg. Perfect. All right, you can go ahead and relax that one more time. You can go ahead and bring that left leg up again, bringing it over to the right side of your body, guiding it all the way down while you take that left arm and place it over to your side, looking in the opposite direction of your leg. Make sure you're continuing to do that breathing. It's the most important part of the yoga that we're going to be doing today. Perfect. You can go ahead and release that. We're going to take that right leg, bring it right back up, bring it over to the left side of your body. Make sure we're guiding it all the way down, using that right arm, placing it out to your side, and looking in the opposite direction of your leg. Perfect. All right, and now we're going to go right into the happy baby pose. So the happy baby pose, you still want to have that back right down towards the mat. I'm going to bring those, I'm going to put those feet up, grab both those feet, and you want to bring them as close as you can towards your stomach. Really nice deep stretch in your hips when you're doing this. Still. Right, we can go ahead and relax in this pose by bringing those legs in towards our chest, making sure we're continuing to do that deep breathing. Right, and bring those legs right back up. Make sure we're separating them a little bit, grabbing onto the insides of our feet. We can go ahead and give ourselves that one big hug one more time. All right. We can go ahead and relax from that. So this next pose, we're still going to want to be on our back. I'm just going to go ahead and sit up because this one I want to focus more on talking to you guys. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put our legs back down towards the front of the mat. We're going to go ahead and relax our arms, relax our legs, relax our feet. So wherever you are right now doing this yoga, I would highly suggest turning off any lights that you have, any music, closing your eyes, and you're really going to want to focus on your breathing as well as kind of what your body is telling you. Any intentions that we set today are going to be something that we're also going to focus on this pose. We want to make sure we're relieving all that stress, all the anxiety, anything that's been bothering you today. So first we're going to focus on relaxing that head, making sure we're closing our eyes, relaxing our mouth, relaxing our ears. We want to focus on bringing all that negative energy out of our mind. Just really focus on that breathing, that inhale of 5 and that exhale of 3. Next, we're going to want to go ahead and relax our shoulders. By relaxing your shoulders, you want to drive those all the way to the back of the mat. Make sure you're not using any muscles to hold your shoulders or your arms or your hands up, anything like that. We want to make sure that we're slowing down our breathing, really focusing on relaxing our body right now. So the next thing that we want to relax is our core. Make sure you're not using any core muscles to hold yourself up. Just kind of relax. You're kind of like melting into the mat right now. That's how it should feel, at least. And after you relax that core, we want to go ahead and relax those hips right into the mat. We're going to sink further in, making sure we're focusing on our breathing. And then we want to relax our knees, making sure we're driving those towards the bottom of the mat, really focusing still on that deep breathing. And after we've relaxed those knees, go ahead and relax your feet, making sure that your heels are touching the mat, and still focusing on that breathing. And then we want to make sure that our hands are still on the mat, making sure we're really nice and calm right now. This should almost feel like a nap. So normally when I do this pose, I like to really focus on my breathing almost to the point where I don't know how long I'm in this pose. I usually like to stay in this pose for 5-10 minutes. So wherever you are, continue to feel like if you need to stay in this pose for as long as you'd like. But as you're bringing yourself back out of this pose, you want to go ahead and wiggle those hands, wiggle those toes, bring yourself back into the realization of wherever you are. Then you're going to want to wiggle those knees a little bit, maybe shake your hips, kind of wake your body back up, maybe touch those elbows to the mat, kind of wiggle yourself out, roll those shoulders, bring your head back up, and come back to that realization. All right. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for joining us today. I hope you liked our basic yoga video, and we'll see you next time.